The episode opens with a random guy walking into a liquor store when he comes across an attractive lady and her sister, who in this video will just be one figure because they pretty much are, and he tries talking to them while the little sister slips a hex bag into his pocket, and he explains, hey, you're attractive, you don't really need magic to get me to do what you want. And the girl's like, even if it means killing your friend, stealing for us, and then being killed by me? Have you ever met a guy before? So then our victim kills a dude, steals the drinks, and brings them out where our villains for this week proceed to kill him and then run off. So after this, Dean is out on his own beer run when again he runs into the attractive ladies who apparently love to hang around beer, and they hex him and ask to go bring a book. He's like, which book? You know, that book that was like a plot point in the last half of season 10 and a couple episodes of season 11? Dean replies, whoa, you know, continuity. I am so in love even without the hex bag. I'll be right back. Sam's at the Bucker. Dean comes running back and is like, I just met the most beautiful girl. I've just got to get this book for her. Hold on, Dean. This sounds just a little suspicious to me. Sam, you don't get it. She used continuity. Continuity! I can use continuity too. Remember that episode I got married? This is also like that time with the siren. You just don't get it, Sam. It's not the same. She has breast. Now out of my way. No, I won't let you do that. And somewhere during all this, Castiel and Lucifer, they get up to shenanigans in their cages and eventually escape. You know how that goes. So Dean brings the book where the girls are waiting, and then Sam comes showing up to save his brother, but they have to start getting in a fight. And while they're doing the girls take. And then while they're wrestling, who should appear but Rowena, that I don't really have a figure for, so we'll use this red-headed mage to be Rowena. And says, aha, you thought I was out, but they just keep bringing me back. Let's have an adventure together. Okay. From there, the episode's about what you'd expect. Rowena and Sam kind of share a moment. Dean talks to people and figure out where's the girls. They all have a big showdown. There's a zombie involved. Rowena defeats the evil witches so the boys can maintain their losing record. Sam kind of makes a deal, allowing Rowena to go off, and the boys kind of bicker a little bit, this time for real instead of because of some spell. The end. No, this episode wasn't great, but it was a bit more solid than the previous weeks, and, well, let's break it down to a few parts. For the Hot Witches, I thought they were serviceable as villains. There's a little bit of an undercurrent in the show about them kind of being a mirror universe, gender swap version of the boys, with the older, being the one that usually seduces the opposite sex, while the younger one is more nerdy and bookish, and, they're trying to help out their mom at this time instead of their dad. If I had any real complaints, it's that we didn't get a few more touches heightening how similar yet different the girls were to our boys. Like, instead of playing heavy metal music, playing generic bubblegum pop music. Castiel and Lucifer, it works. Both Misha and Mark are just excellent actors and have a lot of great on-screen presence and chemistry between themselves. So it's really hard to hate any scene with the two of them in it. I still think Lucifer's kind of a little overplayed, and I really wish they'd maybe get him retired for a while. But the scenes of them working together and dialing him up so they could escape the prison, it works in general. And I like both actors. I just feel like the writing's getting a little stale around both of them. As for the mains, Rowena, I could probably do an entire standalone video on Rowena. It's nothing against the actress. Ruth Connell is welcome to hex me anytime, so I don't really have a problem with her appearances. Her performances are all generally good. It's just the writing's never really worked for her. But this episode is probably the first one that I really felt that a lot of things were starting to come together for her. And at least this time, her actions made sense and were consistent with the character. And so this is probably one of the better episodes she's been in quite a while. If they had to bring her back, at least they brought her back in a pretty decent episode. Is her spell at the end going to come back and solve this arc, or is it setting up for her to be The villain next season, I don't know. I'm betting it'll probably be this season's arc, but we'll see. Sam and Dean, they do their thing. Sam's moment with Rowena actually is probably one of the better parts of this episode. My biggest issue with it is that it seems like it should have taken place much earlier in the show, just even before this season, but certainly at the start. And it only strengthens my argument that Sam and Dean really should have been switched at the beginning of this season, with Sam and certainly his trauma and dealing with Lucifer being much more reluctant to accept Jack, while Dean, with his connection to Castiel and dealing with an exceptional presumed evil person in the past, would be more open and friendly to Jack and more willing to raise him and give him a chance. I also did like that the episode did reference prior continuity, the season 7 Becky wedding, the episode where Castiel kind of vampired another angel's grace. I mean, those were some of the worst episodes of the series ever, but I at least respect the writers remembering that and making the world feel real and have a sense of continuity again. The title did throw me off a little bit. Every time I kept seeing articles about it online, I kept assuming they were fandom lists. It took me a little bit to realize that was the actual episode title. So this is why grading this episode is kind of hard, because a lot of the problems with this episode are not actually because of the episode, but because of the foundation it was built on. Had things been done differently or been improved at the very start, I think this episode would have been much stronger, a little more entertaining, and had a much better impact. I mean, like, I understand them having the B plot with Castiel and Lucifer, but if we had done that elsewhere, would that have given us more time to have the evil witches interacting with the boys? I know sometimes that because of the airing schedule, the timing of Supernatural can get a little off, since the last couple of episodes are kind of sequential. Are the boys' adventures happening right now in February, or are we still kind of around Christmas time? We sometimes need ways for the episodes to sync back up to real time. And this is one time where they could have done that, where, say, we had a comedy montage of the Witch Sisters trying to hex the boys and just keep failing at it through, various happenstance, and maybe even through the boys' own caution. And because, after 13 seasons, they really should be a little bit more careful. And the issues with Sam and Rowena, there's questions about why didn't this come up earlier. Rowena's had a lot of problems from the start, but they're at least now trying to, I think, get her character back on track and improve in her writing department. But I'm going to grade this episode 3 out of 5 with an asterisk, because the problems with the episode are really problems with the setup. And had the setup been stronger, the episode would have been stronger. I also like to say this episode was sponsored by Lisa O'Rourke. Link below in the description, but she does a lot of custom Funko Pops in her store. She did this Anna for me that's really awesome. And I love it. And it finally allows me to do all the Dean Anna shipping that I want. And until next time, let me figure out some kind of sign-off line that I need.